Hello, I think I've got my head on. And you're going to see this better this time because I've stood in front of it. So it's having a slight angle so you can see the picture. The dogs have to be over here because I'm right-handed, so I need it in front of me. You know what I mean? If we put the dogs there, I'll be stood over here. Anyway, we saw tonight. Again, because we're doing landscape, getting ready for my tour of Croatia in October, hopefully, because we'll not be going there. Definitely no holidays. Okay? So I've got my coffee, I've got my pastels, I've got my pictures. Now some of you said we've done them before. We've done a similar one. Alsatians, you know, quite similar in colouring, markings. This one I've actually, it was facing the other way, and I've switched it round. I've flipped it so it's facing this way. So probably because I've done that, you're thinking you've done it before, especially the ones at Bedford Eye that we did. I know a few of you said you'd done it. Anyway, it's always good practice to have another go. You could do it in a different style, different colours, doesn't really matter. You've got a black and white version and we've got a coloured version. The black and white gives you a really nice contrast, and the colour's quite light on this one. It's a bit darker on the actual image, but I'm not bothered. Some lovely colours in the face because we've got blues, we've got alizarenes, we've got purples, and then we've got siennas, you know. So we've got quite a lot of colour in this dog. Warm siennas, yellows, oranges, things like that. A lovely dark background as well. So the first thing we're going to do is have a sip of coffee, and then we're going to colour the background like all over, but thinking about the underpainting, thinking about complementary colours. Complementary colours are complementary to sienna, is blues and purples, things like that. So you got warm against cool. So you got yellows and blues, purples, yeah, and siennas and reds, greens and reds. So you know, always thinking about what is complementary. So if you put the cooler colours underneath, I mean, you could actually, if you could put sienna all over and you just try and paint the blue bits and things like that, the dark bits, it would work, but I think it'd be a bit more boring actually. But you can try it that way, it doesn't really matter. I'm not telling you how to do it, I'm just showing you how I do it, yeah? And if you want to do it a different way, that's fine. I'm not going to say you're doing it wrong, because I want to do my thing my way. And if you want to pinch a bit of what I show you to do it your way, that's fine. The song there somewhere. Okay, so there's nobody on yet, not many interested in well, I can't see anybody anyway. Probably doesn't come up landscape. Anyway, we're going to start with underpainting. And like I said, I've got blues and we've got purples, so it's kind of these lovely alizarenes. Yeah, you don't have to put it all over this, you know. Doesn't really matter. Save your pastels. I'm using Inscribe again. Nice hard pastel, yeah. We've got some nice kind of blues in the background. And when you blend them, because I'm working on gesso paper again, it's got a lovely tooth, alright. I can blend them with my hand like that to get the tones underneath, or you can blend them with the tissue. Just be careful you don't kind of go too, press on too hard, because you just start taking off all the colour. I want to kind of rub it into the grooves of the paper, you know, because there's a nice texture here. So I'm just going to do all that stuff. So as long as I get it mainly around the head, you can leave the background, you can leave light areas around the edges, you know. It doesn't matter about some of the lines because they're going to get turned. And then we're going to draw the dog's head. So as I've been asked before, we could use a bit of fixative. I have got the real stuff because I had to order it, but you could use hairspray, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to fix that because I don't want to take any of that off, really. And if you fix it, just watch your chest, quite strong, not like hairspray, it smells different as well. So I'm going to start sketching it, and we usually sketch it with a dark tone, a dark colour. Okay. The picture itself is a portrait. It's not square, but I'm on square paper because that's the width of a roll of lining paper. That's also the width of my board. So I'm going to do this kind of triangle shapes because we don't actually, we could start with a circle. We want to get the ears on, which is going to be at least a third of the way down the picture. So you're talking like that, that, and that, yeah? So we're talking about here for the ears. Okay, so if I just do a line there, like that, and this is where the right ear is going to be, and then we can get a kind of shape, like that, and an angle, and the way the fur gives you these little shapes, and then this ear as well, just on the same level, because it's upright, yeah, and then we get this lovely curve, and that comes around kind of the back. Simple. And then the ears are at an angle, just like human beings, yeah? The ears are at an angle so they can twist and whatever. And we get this negative shape, which is its fur coming off the picture, like that. Alright? So as long as I get that in, and then if I measure again, I can say, right, the eyes are going to be about halfway between that distance. It's that. So if I do that and then put a line about here, which is the forehead. So I've got a lovely kind of angle, and the eyebrow on the dog is actually this kind of triangle shape there, and the eyes are lovely, aren't they? They've got these lovely sienna eyes. Again, put the pupil in, put the top eye, put the eyelid in, because they've got eyelids, yeah, and they've got these lovely dark shapes which we can blend if you want to blend it. This is a blue pastel, it's not black. Tend not to use black because we don't want it actually going dirty. You want to keep your colours clean, and the blue's okay, but it's quite a dark blue. And then I'm looking at this distance. There's not a lot of distance there actually between that eye and the other eye, and they're on level. Alright, so you're not doing any curves, you're just in a straight line like this, and I can see the pupil there. I can also see the iris as it goes round the corner, top eyelid, yeah? And you should get the position of the eyes straight away, and they're looking forward because the pupil's right in the middle. Okay, so they're just like human beings. If I look at the negative space then from the bottom of the ear, which is that shape, to where the forehead's going to be, so it's like this angle there, the side of the face, and then from there the nose or the muzzle is coming out, and then it's not that far from the side of the head on this side. So if you look at the muzzle, we're about this kind of shape where the nose is, okay, and he's looking forward. So we've got this lovely shape of the nose. It's got a crease in the middle. You can see both nostrils like that, yeah? Just keep it simple shapes. And then we can see the other side of the mouth. There's a line there as well, and then it goes up because it curves round, and then this one comes this way like that. When we draw anything, you just put in lines in to position things, okay? Don't worry about getting a lightness or anything, although the lightness comes with the colour of the dog and the way it looks at you and things like that. So, yeah, you've got a lovely shape, and the eyebrow going that way, okay? And then the mouth. So I want the top, this curves quite a bit, and then it goes that way. And if you drop a line down, this is how we do it in human beings as well. From the corner of the eye, which is there, yeah, like that, that's the width of the mouth. Alright, so again we're using shapes, angles, and then we're seeing the lips and the gums of the dog, and then the front of the bottom, the jawline. And then from here, you can see a little bit of a curve where its tongue just hits that tooth, and then it comes down and curves that way. There is a gap there you can see through, which is the fur on the dog, if you've got the image. If not, and then we're going to just put in that side. You can see one of his canines there, the teeth on that side. Can't see any more, there's just a few. We get that lovely colour of the gum, and then the chin, which is something like that, and then it goes quite dark up here into this shape. So here I can start using a bit of blocking in tone, going down to the mouth, the side of the mouth where it goes quite dark like that. Just block it in. The nostrils, yeah, like that. And then just some of these little shapes that give you the darks around the mouth and underneath. I'm not going to block anything or blend anything. As you know, I don't blend much, but if you're a blender, there's blenders and non-blenders. If you're a blender, I wonder if blenders going to... Anyway, if you're a blender, then blend. If not, don't bother. It's entirely up to you. There's no right or wrong there. I know some really good blenders actually. Yeah, so we get the shape. This bottom side is higher than that one, so that's the canine. And then we get the side of the head, which is just coming out like the shoulder, and then that's going off the picture. Okay, so just draw what you see, more or less like that. So that's the shoulder, and we get this lovely angle where it's going down underneath the head and what have you. Alright. Now, you know, we can always adjust things. The thing is about when you're drawing and painting, the lines are there as a guide, yeah. You don't have to kind of stick to everything. If you think something's wrong, you make it bigger or you make it smaller or whatever, yeah. And you got the gap on the top of the nose, it's quite interesting, a nice blue shape. And then the curve of the nose and that angle, yeah. Okay, like the nostrils are going to be dark anyway, just put your finger on them. Do a bit of blending. Keep that eye in the background, going away, just like human beings. It's smaller, and then this is bigger because it's nearer and it's more, you can see more detail on it and the shades around it. You can put some of the markings in, which is this lovely dark area, the side of the head, and then you've got that distance again from here to the marking here, can you see? This is all nice and blue as well. This goes into this ear, and then we can leave that. Just get the jawline. I think it's a little bit further in than it actually is. Okay, and then inside the mouth we've got that curve there, and then it's quite dark. There's a curve there, it's quite dark, and then here it's quite dark, isn't it? Because we'll put some blue in that. So I'm just blocking in, because pastels, we usually go from dark to light, yeah. The last thing you put on is usually white, so if you think about building up the tones. Okay, and then we start adding colour. So all the colours you can think of, all the colours you can see. I've actually got blue there, I've got blue here as well. I'm painting with the stick. If your sticks are full, break them in half, yeah. I'm just painting with the stick, a half stick of pastel, only small. And then you've got this lovely shape, and the shadows that are around, like under that eye is blue, and there's a marking there that's blue. Okay, curve of the mouth area, things like that. So I'm just having a look here where that gap is, and it seems to be coming over from there. It's like this. This is where we're adjusting. Adjust like that. We can adjust, and we can also rub out. If you're rubbing pastel out later, we just use a stiff brush. You can rub pastel out. Okay. That's the firm. Keep that nice and soft, and then have some blue under there as well. We've got some blue shapes. Okay, and then we're going a little bit lighter with the blue in places, because this is a nice kind of warmer cerulean blue into these areas of darker tone. Right. And then we start adding other warmer colours later. If you look at the muzzle, the nose, it's quite dark, isn't it? And we got a kind of an undertone there, and then it goes warm at the front. We get siennas in there. Again, we'll spray this, and we get a nice blue on this side of the mouth. That's quite light around the nose here, and it's quite dark. Again, we can add a bit more warmer colour siennas in the nose. Whatever white we put on, it's going to pick up. It's going to pick up these colours. So I'm using this kind of dark sienna tone first. I'm not trying to paint fur. I don't have to kind of paint fur. I've got quite a lot of blocking in to do first. Paint with your pastel stick. Bring out these tones, these colours first, and then we'll start using white over the top and things like that. So painting the direction as well. If you look at the gesso, it's actually helping me quite a bit because I've got these brush marks where I put the gesso on. So yeah, you can see this, the tones are going in and blend that into the eye. The eye is sienna. Put the eye in, if you want, like that. Again, you get a highlight at the top, and there's no white there. Get a lovely line under the bottom eyelid. Yeah, this is a bit warmer on this side. There's some light here because you're seeing through. Your tongue's pink, the bottom of the thing's pink, a bit warm there, and you're getting this lovely sienna over there. Look at the shapes. It's going a little bit darker on this side and it curves away. It's actually going purple there, like alizarin. And I will keep the marks a bit lighter as I go down to the bottom of the dog. Okay. You want any commissions? I don't do any, but you can do your own. Okay. I've done my bit of commissioning for Christmas. But I like doing animals, just don't do them much. Okay, and then I've got a lighter tone. Just put some alizarin in first, sorry, that's what I was going to do. Which is this reddish tone. Like I said before, with pastels you get different shades of colours. But if you put the colour in and then add white to it later, you'll get the same tone. So you don't actually have to have all those different colours because it's kind of very expensive to have loads of different colours and tones. So, but they are nice to look at actually. So there's a bit more alizarin there and some here under the jaw. In the tongue, as it goes inside the mouth, just where you can just see the gum like that, and then you can just see that tooth coming out, and then the red area inside the jaw. I've got white here, going grey a little bit of purple on the muzzle, a bit of purple that way as well, going lighter as we go along. I've got a nice orange tone. This is lovely for stronger lights. Now you can see. Just picking out some of the shapes that the fair is picking out. Yeah, like that. Quite warm in places. Yeah. Just look at the way it just makes these lovely shapes. Again, between the eyes it goes slightly curved there, and that's where you're getting most of the light because it comes into the muzzle. Yeah? Underneath that eye. So I've already put some of these in, but I'm just going a little bit lighter now, more colour with it. You can use yellow as well. The shape in the background now, which is the fur, and we can paint that later. And this goes quite dark down here. Background, that's quite nice. There, and this is quite light. Again, we're looking at, I've got sienna, which is one of my lighter ones here, and if you look at this shape, this is a similar kind of tone to, and there here we've got a lighter area of sienna. You can put that in as well. The side of the face, it's cheek, and then we get a light area there because we've got like a dimple. Yeah, side of the face. Blending this into, and we are, I think I mentioned, we are going to fix him or her don't know. We're going to fix him, and then it will go darker, yeah? And then we're going to start doing more detail, because that will allow you then to go lighter and lighter. Beautiful. Okay. I've got a nice white bit of alizarin. Don't forget the background. We can paint the background later. A bit more here. Lovely light here, which is going to go. See, anyway, just a look at the video. If it's still, yeah, still there. Right, if you're thinking about the background, it is quite dark, so I'm going to use the same kind of blue stick. I'm going to blend this bit. I know I said there's blenders and non-blenders, but I want the background to be dark over there. Right, and we can soften the edges where it meets the fur, and then I'm going to add some lovely green to that area. So I've got this lovely shape coming down here where the nose is, and it curves and it goes off into this green area. Alright, so fingers, tactile stuff, blend around this ear, leave little gaps if you want to have some of the underpainting. And it's a flat shape, so what happens now is all that colour in the dog is going to come forward, yeah? And we can blend it slightly, like I said, into the fur around the dog's head like that. Use the finger, keeping this area nice and dark. If you don't like your fingers getting dirty, just use a tissue, but like, just be careful you don't take too much off. Going that way, angles, going into that dark area. And I've got some greens, got some lovely kind of turquoisey greens as well. I'll block that in. A bit of blue mixed with that as well. And then it goes kind of sienna again. It goes warm, not at the bottom, because it's in the countryside, and we've got some green and some light areas at the back. I'll come over here as well. You don't have to put all this in if you don't want. I'm just making it look like he's actually stood in a space, because when you paint anybody's head, the portrait, the space behind the head is important as well. Coming down into that lovely curve near the mouth, which goes that way, and then this, I can blend that in. Okay, you can soften anything that's further away from you. Like here, we're going a lot warmer with the green, but we can go into the fur as well, so give it that soft edge, and we can pick that out later. But you don't have to do it all over. It's entirely up to you, okay? I hope it is recording this. Nobody to talk to today. So the background is important, yeah? This gives you the shape of the dog, and the back here. Just keep it nice and soft, subtle. Just see the head popping out. You can go over your alizarin like it is, just soften the fur. A bit of blending if you like, blending. And then I'm going to do a bit more kind of warm colours. I love the yellow here, and a little bit lighter one actually, because we've got so this is going to pick up some of the fur in the ear, because when you look at the ears, you've got this lovely long strands of fur, don't they? And then we've got the shapes. A couple of heads quite light, so I'm going a little bit lighter now. And we've got these negative spaces like that. If you want to put some fur in, just do directional marks like this. Go into that ear. We can play about with the light catching the ear as well, because it's quite light there, and then it comes down a bit in here, And we get some white there actually. I'm trying not to use any white yet because we want to keep that lovely light using pastel. Inside the ear is lighter. It's a bit lighter on that side. Again, we've got this, the fur, hair there, a bit fur hair. And we've got some here. We've got a nice shape there. It's like, similar to like a, I think the earlobe on people. And the fur coming out from that. The blue here, and then the side of the head. So, that we can start doing that kind of slow directional strokes, just to give you some of this change in tone and make it look like fur. But I haven't actually I haven't actually fixed it yet, so I don't want to do too much of this fur technique yet. But we'll just look at the shape. I need to cover up a lot of the underpainting as well. Like that. Again, side of the, it's like your cheekbone, isn't it? Just underneath that eye. And then here, we've got this really nice highlight. There's a little bit of light catching that. So these where the kind of markings start to come out. Alright, I'm using a little bit darker sienna for that. And it's kind of more on the red side, isn't it? Which is similar to that. And this bit. You get this kind of fur that's ruffled, like ruffled up. And that's what you're seeing there a little bit. Yeah. So I'm just playing about at the moment, putting the marks in. I will use black towards the end, just to bring the eyes out. Yeah. If you want to look ahead and stick some white in, put some white in his eyes. This is a hard pastel, so I'm just looking at the whites, top of the eyes. It makes a difference, doesn't it? I can use a bit of white for the top of his nose. He's got a shiny part there, and that's at the top of the nose, and then it blends in. But it's on the cool side. It's blue, and then it turns a corner. This is a hard white, just picking up some of the colour, and we can use that for around the nostrils, like that. You got these two warm areas like that, and then they blend into the rest of the nostril. We've got the white here. It's the front. This is where we can actually add some linear stuff to make it look, like fair. Keep the blue. So, well, like I said before, whatever you've got underneath, the white's going to pick up. So don't be frightened of putting lots of colour in. Yeah. And if you look at the eye and the way it curves inside the eye, you get these lovely shapes. So we try and do directional strokes, just a few in these warmer areas as well. And that starts going into the dog's muzzle. I haven't touched anything here because I like the colours. I'm going to leave that, so when you start putting the white in and the darks, this muzzle is just going to come forward, isn't it? Like that. Pointillism. Okay. There's a bit there on the gum which is quite light, and then we get this bit. I'm going to use a little bit of red. It's not in there, but you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be this lovely warm colour, which is inside. Kind of, you get these shapes on the gum line, which got crinkled. We also got the front of the dog's head, the jaw, like so, and the fur. So we can have the white over that fur, just to give it some lightness. And it, as you go down there, it goes the other way. Like that. I want some more sienna. The front of the face, again, a bit more sienna. We've got plenty of time for this today. You've got loads of time. I know you're taking your time, some people, you know, but if you try and give yourself a time limit, you work faster. I think you pick things up more if you by doing things quicker. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Yeah. If you don't like doing that, then it's fine. Right, I've got a lovely pink tongue. Not me personally, but my dog. So it's got this lovely pink. So this is a lighter pink over that dark area, and it's coming round like that. So there, you put the pink in, and then you add the white. So the tip of the tongue, and the front of the gum there is quite light. So this is a lighter pink, you see. And then we've got this pink area at the side, just slightly. I get my white. I can see where the tongue's going up, but it's being hit by a tooth. So that's what's making it bend upwards, and then it comes forward like that. You actually in a tongue, you've got a ridge in the middle, and it's you might not be able to see it, but if you put it in, it does help to make it a little bit more realistic. Like I said, this is a pastel which I use first, and then you get the shape of the tip of your tongue, and then that's going into the tooth, because you've got a tooth there. Okay, it's as nice and not pure white, but it's got sienna, and then the gum line at the front of the mouth, things like that. Alright, so it's just little bits of information. It's lovely. Again, I'm going to use some of this cerulean blue. Got quite a bit actually around the fur, and it helps with the colour of the fur, because it's going to make it kind of warmer. You can use this in the background to give you receding fur, and then we're glazing over things like that, so you're going a little bit darker, especially on the nose there, you can see. Again, just keep painting. Don't be frightened of blocking in the tones. I haven't actually fixed this yet. I think I'm going to fix it in a minute, and then start adding the light areas. What you're looking at is that when I fix it, it's going to be darker. Oh, I forgot to tell you, have a damp cloth so you can keep wiping your hands, and don't blow the dust about, or you'll end up having a bad chest. Alright, like I've got now. Anyway, I'll fix it. This is not helping. I need to dry it off, so I've got my hairdryer as well. Fix it. I know it's going to go darker. Again, some people don't like doing this because it goes too dark. And then, see, the whites have gone flat. Yeah, let's have a sip of my coffee. And then you start looking at the head again. Because I've knocked it back, a lot of this colour has gone into the background. So if I use the same colours again now, looking at the eye for instance, it's a lot stronger because it's flattened backwards. Yeah, and I can also go over the warmer areas of the dog's fur like that, and then start using the white pastel again. Yeah, to bring out this this lovely colour. My alizarin, which I do like these alizarin. Again, we can add some to the top of the head. It's dried quite quick, so I don't need bother. Inside the ear, the side of the muzzle, you can block it that way as well. So you've got a lot of light hitting the top of the muzzle, but then it goes kind of quite purple. We'll bring out the mouth, the tongue again, right there, and some more shapes inside the mouth, under the mouth. Got another dark blue here, so that one, this is the markings under the jaw, under the jawline. Okay, let's see some of your underpainting. You don't want to cover that up. So the markings underneath the jawline, like that, and the direction of the fur, like that. It's quite a big sheet of paper as well, this, so you know, if you're working on a very small piece of paper, it's not easy with pastel because you'd be better using pastel pencils. That's why I don't actually possess any, really, because they're all quite big. So if you want to work with pastel pencils, that's fine. You can get a really nice fur effect. But if you want to go big and just try using pastels, you know, straight from the box or chopped in half, it's a lovely way of kind of painting. Yeah. So I'm adding more blue, especially to the these little areas that are changing tone now, and they're quite dark. So because I've knocked it back, the dark areas are coming out more. So you knock the lights back and the darks back. It's called knocking back, yeah. And then things start to appear again. So we can do his nostrils, which have got this lovely shape. They're quite big, aren't they? Got this lovely shape, and that's going down, and it goes that way. At the side of the nostrils, underneath, just here, crease in the top lip. Got a little bit of a dark bit there as well. All these little things. I've got some lines on my paper which is really helping to make it look like it's got whiskers coming out. And I will use a little bit of this for the dark around the muzzle. Again, this eye, the bottom eyelid goes under that top eyelid. Yeah. Bringing that out in here, soften it like that, soften it. Here we've got this underneath the dog's head, little bits of information, nothing too, so you can just do that. Yeah. So that's the fur coming forward. All right, and then I'm just looking inside the ears again. We've got this lovely pink. Start using a little bit more kind of warmer colours around the edges. Right. So a little bit of yellow going into the sides of the ear like that. And then again these hairs, these long hairs, and then here that warmth. So this side of the, I forgot that bit, sorry. This side of the eye, you've got a nice mark in here which links to the eye and then goes that way and just comes under his what's this called? It's not working. Just goes under his cheekbone, more or less, yeah. Okay, we've got some lights in there. You can put the pupil back in. We can do this with black later as well, so the eyes really stand out. Okay, a little bit of light. You can either use blue or you can use a white. This is a light blue, very light blue, just around the eye because it's getting some reflected lights from above. Bottom eyelid, you can see, and just at the top of the eyelid. And then that goes into the rest of the dog's head. Alright. Just use softer pastel. What's the difference between soft pastel and hard? One's soft and one's hard. No, the difference is that one's got more pigment and less binder. So that means it's a lot stronger colour wise. Yeah. But it does disappear under your fingertips. And the other one is the more pigment, more binder, less pigment. Right, so scumble, again, nice area there. Put a few linear stuff in, just for fur. Here, that lovely light there. This is the cheekbone, and this is where you're getting a lot of that light. Add directional strokes. Yeah. And like I said, you can do this really quick, and then you can spend the next 7 days putting every little bit of hair in. Yeah, if you wanted to. Well, that's not right. Just taking that down a bit under that eye. In fact, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. You start to see these markings, and it's kind of bigger like that in that area. Okay. Again, the fur in the background, but it's quite dark. Like that. Saving some of these darks inside is the ear, which actually blends into that area, and then just the top of his forehead. And again, we've got that lovely dark shape. Okay, around the ears and whatever. Now, stand by. It's only 25 to. Let me look through my viewfinder. Now, I'm just going to cut off that bit of the muzzle. We can look at the shape of the tongue. Yeah, the way it hits the teeth inside, and then the shape of the jawline, which goes that way. I'll just use a bit of blue, but you can use brown, doesn't matter, and that gives you that hard line just in front of the gum, like that, and then it disappears around the corner. But yeah, the same kind of tone just underneath, where the muzzle is. And made blue. So I'm using different blues now as well, because you get this shape, this blue on top of the nose. There's a little bit of a light area. There's a little bit of warm tone on the cheek, going around the corner. We don't want too much though, because it starts to come forward a little bit. So you can knock that back with a bit of white or another colour. So to put the white back. So I'll just use a Sennelier. This is my Sennelier white. You can buy these separate. You can see the difference now as well, because there's a lot of strong tone. Put some of this in the nose as well, especially where it's coming forward. Top of the nose, like that, and the side, so that's coming towards you, and then the corner, like that, you know. And then we can add some fur or whiskers. Going a bit grey in places, but just add this whiskers look. Again, we can do the tongue, which is a lot lighter at the front. There's a little bit blue as well, because purple goes blue in shadow, or pink goes blue in shadow. Side of his tooth, the front of the gum line, like that. Any whites now are going to just make this come forward. The light. We've got some in side of his mouth, yeah. We've got some lovely shapes here as well. This is the light hitting. Keep a clean finger if possible. Hitting his fur. So that's too light for fur. So I want to put a nice light tone in, well I did before for the ears and things, and a bit of white up there actually, just there, the top of his ear, like that. You get a little bit around the side, that bit at the front, yeah. And this is a little bit lighter, but it's too white, that's why we use some lighter pastel first. Yeah, which goes into the head, top of the head, and then joins up with the shape at the side of the head. This all blends into the top of the eyebrow. And I'm still talking, can you believe it? Top of the eyebrow, then that blends into the front of the forehead, and that goes that way into this area of the forehead. We get little shapes here. Bit more sienna, which is coming down from this direction actually. So put some on and then put a lighter one over the top, yeah? Because you're getting these little areas of his coat. It's actually, you can just see against the black or the darkness of it. Alright, so another blue, different blue this time, I think. Something a little bit darker, not dark, around the mouth. That's where it's kind of gums are, and this blue shape, and the shadows. Excuse me. Top of the top of the. So you come in from here, and then you go in. It kind of curves out, and then goes back. Sorry, probably in your way then. It curves out, goes back. Yeah. Nostril. More white. You can use the hard white as well if you want to, pick up smaller areas that are not very dark, not very white. I mean, front of the nose, things like that. Lovely. Go over the fur, bottom of the eye. Just like human beings, they've got a nice highlight right in the tear duct, and then that shape at the side. Look at how eyes are made up. You'll get this really nice shape. Bit of hard white, just around the eyebrow, over the markings. Again here, some soft white there, because quite like that bit. Just like a bit of a marking on the dog. Bit more blue, which is actually coming down from that bit, and it was darker there. Yeah? Keeping it, keep looking. Keep looking, looking. Squint. If it's too dark, go over it, knock it back. Yeah. Squint. The blue here, it's darker. I can see all the time. Looking. Then whiskers, I've got a dark brown here. It's more kind of brownish at the front. Here. The top of the eye is going to be darker because it's in shadow. And if I get some black now as well, excuse me, we can go into some of the markings and make them stronger, like this. But we can also go into the eye, so we've got a lovely curve of the eyebrow, and it goes up and down, past the bottom eyelid. We've got a few dark bits, yeah. Nostrils, nice and dark, in the middle, around there. Pupil, again, nice and dark. Iris, top eyelid. So he's looking at you, kid. Side of the nose, under the nose. The sun's come out in between showers. Side of the mouth here. Very strong dark. Going that way. Again, if you use the pastel side, it catches on the roughness of your paper, so you can still see through it. Okay? A mark in here, nice and strong. Squint, take your glasses off. That's quite dark. Here, again, quite dark. And then we'll just concentrate on a bit more of this background fur. Inside the mouth, lovely shadow there. And then it comes forward. I've got some great blues actually inside the mouth, because that goes up again here, and that's this shape at the jawline, near the jawline, yeah. Inside that tooth, you can just about see. Stand back. Just like that. When? She's not there. Okay, and then we're going lighter. So these are lighter hard pastels. It's a combination of soft ones and light ones. Okay, it's entirely up to you which you use. Usually you start off with the softer pastels, yeah? And then you go on to the harder pastels, sorry, and then you go on to the soft ones. But then, you know, it's entirely up to you. You can do a combination of the two, if you like. A little bit of blue. That lovely shape in his forehead. Okay, side of the nose. Just glazing things. I'm going to do the background again because I want this to be quite striking. So it's lovely and dark and it curves away into the background. Around his ear. Shoulder. Alsatian. Because it's in shadow, so his fur is going to be quite cool, man. Scumblet. This is quite warm because it's coming forward. So it's got this lovely warmer sienna colour. Yeah. Again, we can do it that way because it'll be warmer at the edges and then lighter, darker as it goes away. Okay. I think there's people there. Can't see today because I've gone portrait. Scumble. A bit of white. So if you look at this area, it's quite white, that. There's a lot of light catching the fur. You can blend it, keep a finger clean for blending. Going around the ear again, just to bring it out. There's a few ways of doing this. You can either go dark around an object so it makes it lighter, or you can go light in the object. And again, you've got a combination of ways of doing that. It's up to you. Sometimes it works better by painting the background. You see? If I blend that now, this is black because I want it to be very, very dark. And I know I said I don't use black, but we use black to bring out the lights. Okay. So I don't tend to use it when I start because if you get your colours mixed with that, it's going to go grey. But you can use it towards the end to put the lights and darks in. Okay. Turquoise colours, lovely. Can have a bit here actually, like that. Wipe my hands, stand back. Stand back, yeah. This is the, still noticeable, a little bit darker in these areas. And the shapes here, so more light. You got these little markings now. Just makes it the dog, yeah. Especially around the face and the muzzle. Here, there, and everywhere. These are just Sinalia white. That lovely shape there. Under his eye as well. I do love that beautiful kind of blue, which I'm going to emphasise a little bit now. Bring it out in some of the shadows. goes in, comes down. Just get the shapes right. Like that. And you can do that for softening. You can do this. Side of the back of your hand, you can see, to give that lovely softness to the fur. Like that. You can cross hatch. This is called cross hatching, and then blending little areas. And that shape, so we soften that eye. Corner, top corner. Mix colours, yeah, black and blue. Make the darker colour. We do want it to look like there's something in the background. This is a lovely, cool green against the face. And then we're going to warm it on this side. We've got this kind of shape, so again, blend it. Got a lovely kind of negative, abstract shape over here. Yeah. Then it goes all green, like that. Shape behind dog's head. Head. You're also seeing a side view, I have noticed on the camera, which makes the nose look bigger because it's going towards you. Okay, where I'm looking, I'm facing it, so it's not as big. It is now 1 minute 2. Quite happy with that. Once you've got him down, you can put loads of different colours in. Yeah? You can add other kind of colours, greens. It would actually reflect the light around him, wouldn't it? The fur would reflect some of that beautiful colour like that. Now at the end you can spray it, or you can just leave it. But if you just leave it, you just have to be careful you don't smudge him. Okay, side of the head, stand back. The nose needs to be a little bit softer because I've got this shape here, right? And then it comes down the side of the nose, and then on top of the nose, we've got that lovely kind of flat shape. So keep looking, then we get more white, and then we get more hair, more fur on the muzzle. Side of the head. Shape. So that is the gap. Looks a bit strange, but that's the gap between the tongue and his fur, his fur, which comes down from the nose here. But so yeah, if you want to get some Scenalia, I do like Inscribe. The Windsor Newton, yeah. Still not paid me for giving all this promoting the stuff. Never mind, they might do. David, if you're out there. And I just use a couple of Scenalia. I've also got some, because I like the darts, Unison. And I know somebody else promotes Unison, so I'm not doing that. But the Unison is really good for doing. I've got just a pack of darts, so I do like it, yeah. For that, I can just kind of bring out the tip of the fur on this underneath. Alright. Let me take the tape off. There's a little bit more, it's a bit too yellow that actually. Oh no, spoil it, but go over it. I mean, Degas pastels, I really love them. They're like one direction, they just did these linear marks and, you know, blended one colour into another and things. So I really like the way they did them. But you can soften the edges of things that way. Keep that dark. Some lovely blues in his mouth. Start seeing all these other colours. You can see the blues just here. Different kind of blues. If you see it, paint it. If you don't see it, don't paint it. Reds, tongue. Sometimes with the eye, it's good to add a little bit of yellow to your bird sienna. That really brings out the eye. Yeah. And then bits of his fur catching the light. Oops. As you get down here, it goes cool again because it's just a bit of blue. Right, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, sorry. Got 1 o'clock on the brain. There you go. I think that's more or less it. We can play about with things, you can just move things about, it doesn't matter that one. Angles, you know, adding the darks. And if you're not into dogs or doing dog portraits, then I hope you'd enjoyed the way I do. I don't do a lot now. I used to do for Christmas things, yeah. But if anything, the nose is just a little bit long. But you just look at the gap, which is from there. And if I actually put some warm there, I've shortened the gap, but then his head looks a bit too big. So, combination of a couple of things. Blend it. And wait. Okay. Let's put this in. And a bit of light blue under his eyes because he's got this lovely light blue area there, and the corner again, and here, and here. Thank you. Okay, take the tape off. If I spray him, I'll just so it can go quite light. Quite dark, sorry, again. So I might just leave it for now. Just put a bit of green there because it's got this reflected green light on that corner. Shape of his face. And it go dark again, so, but it will dry later, so entirely up to you. All the dust, There's loads on the bottom here. Don't blow it, wipe it up with a damp cloth. Okay. Or it'll go everywhere. All over your tape as well. Take these off. It should have a nice white border. Clamps. I probably will spray it because it's not for anyone in particular. So comes in my portfolio. If I turn it towards camera, because it's a slight angle, I might get a better view of the face. There you go, finished. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. See you Wednesday. It is Monday, isn't it? Yeah. See you Wednesday. I don't want to stick to pastel all week, so I'll probably do something different. Acrylic, okay. But I've got an interesting one on Friday in the style of, but we are using a bit of pastel. Might use some ink or black pastel or black charcoal. Okay. Anyway, I'll not tell you anymore. There's the dog. See you later. Have a good week. See you Wednesday. Bye.